Be there and do your actions out of love. Just do them out of love. Things are going to reciprocate the way that they naturally should. Love is gonna come back. You ain't even gotta do it for the sake of it coming back. You know what I'm saying? But like, it's kind of how it almost ends up working.
This is where it all begins. So say goodbye to all your fears, all your doubts. This is where they die. This is where we come to win. We come to fly. This is where we make our dreams come to life. Welcome to Innovation City.
Welcome to Innovation City, a podcast featuring the innovators, disruptors, and creators who are making things happen today. My name is Michael T. Johnson. I'm here with my co-host, Tyler Kelly, and we are at Venture Cafe St. Louis tonight. So Venture Cafe is the largest gathering of entrepreneurs anywhere in the world. We're very excited to be here tonight in St. Louis, and we are very excited because we have Muhammed Mastermind Austin with us.
Good people. How y'all living, man?
Well, excited to have you today.
Yeah. So for those of you that don't know yet, Mastermind, Muhammed Austin, is a St. Louis-born rapper, producer, songwriter. He's gearing up to become a household name. He's toured independently over 20,000 miles, which is just insane. Mm-hmm. But also, at festivals like A3C, South by Southwest, Brooklyn's MCA Day, as well as opening up for artists like Travis Scott, Chance the Rapper, G-Eazy, and Currency. Released your breakout video to the single called Moolah, which is one of my favorite songs because it's about manifesting wealth.
Yes, sir.
And that debuted on BET, MTV, Fuse FM, named as an artist to watch by Complex, Hip Hop DX. Right now you've got Minute Plan and More in the video to More that just came out like a couple weeks ago, I think.
Just
right?
about, yep.
And that's all working up to this debut project, which is just going to shape the future for you, I'm sure.
Yeah, man. It's really going to allow it to be that full introduction for myself, for real. And even just like becoming into my artistry. Because despite how blessed those accomplishments are, I was really just finding out who I really was. You know what I mean? Finding out who I was as an artist, and then even as like a man, as a human being. You know what I'm saying? So it's a lot of things that have just been writing itself lately that I'm just ready to express.
That's amazing. So, I was saying before the show that if we were going to have an artist, like a musical artist on the show, the first one I'd want to have on the show is Mastermind. So thank you for coming.
I appreciate that.
Yeah. So I think a good place to start is with Moolah, because hopefully this doesn't sound long-winded, but so I always feel like a creative output's kind of like almost a snapshot of what your life is kind of at that moment. Mm-hmm. And as an entrepreneur starting a business, I think I've told you this before, like I used to listen to that song driving in to the office every day because I really identified with that. Yeah. The manifesting wealth and all that stuff. So tell me how that song came about.
Man, crazy enough, I was on tour with MME and we was driving through perhaps Arizona or whatnot, and just seeing all of like the sand dunes and just seeing everything. I was like, I'm on tour. This is my caravan, and I'm on tour. It's like we in the desert. It's like Mansa Musa. Mansa Musa was titled at one point the wealthiest man on earth, period. You know what I'm saying? And he was of skin color like mine. So being a young kid and being able to hear things like that, those were like my biggest inspirers, because it was like, not only is this man the wealthiest man on the planet, he was a spiritual person. He took his country on a pilgrimage to Hajj. He gave out gold. He gave out so much gold it caused inflation in places. But it's just like the fact that you can be wealthy and you also can maintain your spiritual health. I always dug that, because that's what I felt like my journey. That's what I knew what was going to be my battle within this rap game, because everything's going to get thrown at me, all of the riches, and I'm going to work my butt off. So things are going to come in, you know what I mean? But I always want to try to maintain that balance. So I kind of like wrote that song to my future self. So if I ever need to like bounce back and I'm like, bro, hold up. You knew your worst since birth. Calm down, you wildin'. I don't know. You know what I mean? So that's but that's pretty much how it ended up forming though. Yeah.
That's a cool story. So take me back even further to when you started to get into music and producing and all that stuff. How did you get started? What was your inspiration?
Man, I've always been around music and I've always been around creative people. My mom is a fashion designer and my father has been in the music industry. So like at a young age, I would always see young creatives providing for their family and traveling state to state and bringing in income, self-employed, you know what I mean, doing things of that nature. I first started making beats around the age of 13, making beats on FL Studio, the infamous FL Studio. And man, I was just hooked. I knew
Is that Fruity Loops?
Yeah,
okay.
Fruity Loops.
I was guessing there. So.
They officially changed their name to
okay.
FL because
wow, I got you.
Nobody want to sound like a bowl of cereal. But
this is true.
But yeah, that was age 13. That's when I was making beats. Age 14, 15, I had my own artists. You know what I mean? Like we was going around the city doing shows and stuff like that. Like I would manage their social media. I would so I've been running at a young age, man.
So you just got to the point where you're doing all these things for other people. You figured you should do it for yourself?
Doing all these things for other people, watching them express themselves, watching them heal themselves by writing, and I was very intrigued with writing. At that point in time in my life, I was still quiet. I still wasn't an extrovert, I suppose, into like expressing my feelings. Like I would talk when I'm comfortable. I would do when I'm comfortable. And music was one of those spots. It was like, well, if you want to express and reach people, you got to step out your comfort zone. And like, boy, did that do it to me. It like ripped me out of my comfort zone so much that I forgot that was me. I forgot that I was the quiet dude. I was the quiet person in the room 24/7. You know what I'm saying? But like it allowed me to get out of that. It allowed me to address my own insecurities, either my writing or like step up to that mic, speak, don't you stutter. You know what I'm saying? Like it rearranged me as a human being.
So, you know, most people are going to see you on stage or like listen to you on Spotify, watch the videos and think, you know, this dude's got it all together. But what are some of those insecurities? What are some of those things that we all face, but what specifically do you face?
Man, as of recently, I have been fighting and battling with staying present. I have a strong drive towards the future. My actions, you know, I'm trying to get it planned. And I mess around and end up living in tomorrow. Like I'll be straight up living in tomorrow. Not here, not today. I'm not present. I'm walking around doing things. People are speaking to me, and I'm like trying to hold on to what they're saying, but I'm thinking about tomorrow. And sometimes, like, I would notice how much that throws me off my axis, and it's like, bro, you have time. Like, I tell myself that. I tell people that I'm working on making sure I have time. Like, I say it mentally out loud so I can remind myself, like, you have time. I've been able to regain time by slowing down. So much more things come my way, so much more things that I may have missed, or even conversations with other human beings is what like allow us to even be able to get a better viewpoint of yourself at the end of the day. I don't know, so it's just like being able to have time and be present in today. I can be the gift. Open up your gift and, you know, just be present. So that's been the biggest one. That's what the song More is about, though. You know what I mean? It's like I was in a daze, that whole video. I was like the fiending feeling for wanting more and not being satisfied. It's like, no, I need to take it to this next level. And at the end of the day, you gotta appreciate today. And
in my opinion, that's the secret. That's when the acceleration happens. Is when you're finally, when we as humans are finally happy or grateful for where we are. Yeah. That's when we're able to just get more.
It's crazy enough. That's the key. That's the key. It's funny because like sometimes, you know, when you are in that blur of just working and sometimes being a workaholic, we forget that like all these different things, these are, I don't know, like when I realized about being present, it wasn't like it was foreign to me. It wasn't like, you mean if I do this, you know what I mean? It's like we've been working on maintaining this balance for a long time. And even then, you feel like you may have it down packed. You'll get to a certain point where you just like completely forgot and you was completely backtracked.
I like what you said about getting back time or slowing down time when you become present.
Yeah.
And when you're not present when you're looking out towards the future. That's when time speeds up. And when time speeds up, you get to accomplish less. You accomplish less.
It's facts, man. Like, I've been able to, I have gained more time by slowing down.
Wow. What's the secret? So somebody out there is in the same boat. What you said, you talk to yourself, or you say it out loud. You know, you have time. What else? What can we do to kind of just get back in the present?
Especially if you know that you're going to do the work, it's going to get done regardless. And sometimes that's also a good thing to just remind yourself, like, I'm a hard worker. Like, it's going to get done. You know what I'm saying? But like other things is, you know, besides of just like speaking it out loud and just letting people know, like, you know, that's something you're working on. Like, schedule out some time for just you, something that has nothing to do with the so-called mission that you're trying to knock out. Just like schedule some time and some self-care for you, or just enjoy some regular time, man. Like, I don't know, like I would be reclused up. I'd be like, I can't watch no movie right now. I gotta do this. I can't just be a regular human and enjoy life. Just enjoy life. You know?
Yeah, I think self-care is an interesting topic, especially for entrepreneurs, because a lot of people don't have good habits as entrepreneurs. We tend to be workaholics. Yeah. So what other kind of things do you, on that self-care topic, how do you take care of yourself?
And spending time, I can't even say necessarily, it's not even always necessarily like spending time with yourself. I found out just spending more time with my lady and just being present in that process of like truly witnessing how beautiful love is. You know what I mean? And again, even in the entrepreneurship world, I'm pretty sure that that's something we can miss, because at times we'll put our career at the max and we're like, no, this is the love, this is my career. You know what I mean? And it's like truly being able to just be present at that moment in love, like that's the highest thing on this earth. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes we'll get that mixed up. So like stuff like that has been helpful. And then just like family, you know what I mean? Again, more love. You know what I'm saying? The innate feelings that we've already been here, but so much societal pressures will knock out the way, and it's like, no, that's not the focus. This is the focus. The money, the getting yourself to X, Y, Z position. You know what I mean? But if you always maintain that love for yourself, your love for the people around you, it's going to be inevitable that you put that same amount of love into your craft, and you're going to get to where you need to go to. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. It's going to happen.
So I think maybe shift gears and talk about like maybe hip hop in general, because I think one of the reasons that Tyler and I both are attracted to your music is because of the mindset that's present in the music, consciousness and all those things. So I think hip hop doesn't have a reputation of being that, although like we found that there's a huge like subsection of it that is.
Yeah.
So, I mean, do you find that a struggle for your music that you put out, like trying to get it to fit in, or do you have your own audience that it doesn't really matter?
For me, it truly depends. I like to craft just whatever is my innate feelings, and that so happens to be just my stream of consciousness. But I would even say the same for I don't want to say everybody else, but even for like the stuff where we be like, what the heck did this dude just say? You know what I mean? Like even that may actually be that person's complete stream of conscious, like stoosh, like right there. Survival mode, living your life in that element, like that's, you know what I mean? At times we'll get into certain things where it's like we can channel maybe some party music to like, let's be present to some stuff. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, like with my music and stuff, like I try my best just to make some good music with some hidden messages in between. I don't want to over preach, and I don't want to over tell people what to do in my music and all the other jazz. Like I want you to be able to listen to it. You find some hidden messages that can help you out. You find, you know what I mean? Like find those different areas that can comfort you and bring it into it. But just be able to have the music that we can digest and fully listen to. Because if we notice throughout all of these years, that is what has been allowing people to digest this music anyway. All of the popular music that's been digested is very easy to digest. That's why there is a section called conscious music. That's why there is a section. We would think that would just be the regular, you know what I mean? But unfortunately, that's not how society is digesting it. So like, you know, put a mess of that and put my own spin to it, and just try to be present in that realm. But
yeah. But so what else I hear you saying is be authentic.
Yeah.
Be you.
Be authentic. At the end of be authentic, be you, because that's something that you don't need directions to write. That's something that you don't need to plan. And I mean, I've been noticing that much more and more and more, to where like, you know, sometimes that person can throw the marketing plan out the window and be you. That's the marketing plan. That's what you know the best. That's what you've been selling your whole life. You know what I'm saying? So.
That's awesome. It reminds me of a quote: "Nobody can be you like you, so just be you."
Facts.
I want to talk about just like the hip hop scene that you've experienced. I mean, you've been all over the country.
Yeah.
And but you're from St. Louis. St. Louis has a rich history for producing like legends.
That's facts.
You know, like in hip hop and
From
blues, R&B,
yeah.
like all down the line.
That's just facts.
But for whatever reason, it doesn't get that like modern day or that present day credibility.
Yeah.
And so what we find a lot of is that people get to a certain point, you know, and they go elsewhere. So tell me about your experience with all that.
St. Louis has a budding music scene, and again, it's in pockets, to where that like someone else can be standing and be like, I haven't heard of anybody in this room, type thing. You know what I mean? Another person, they'll know all of the different shows, they'll know all of the different places. I mean, that's just kind of like how the city is at this point. Even despite whatever climate, it's a lot of segregation. Just even in music and culture and all the different areas, like you would have no idea that this one part exists. Other people will, other people don't. But when stuff gets together, when Venture Cafe brings people together, you know what I mean? Like that's when we had those moments. When Cherokee Street brings all different type of acts together at 2720, at Blank Space, you know what I mean? Like those are the shows, those are the places that allow those gaps to be bridged in St. Louis. But like, our scene is supportive than a mug. Like within those pockets, it's trust, it's culture, it's people who share resources with one another, it's people who will put each other on. You know what I mean? Because we've been going through the thick of it to not only just be like, man, I want to perform and live my life, but be able to set things up to be like, I want to perform and live my life and take care of my kids and pay my bills with music. I want to be able to, you know what I mean? So like, things begin to get really serious, to where we really use the infrastructure of each other to be the resources that we've been lacking inside of the official music industry. It's survival tactics almost.
Yeah. So let's say you've got somebody wants to go along the path you're going down. What kind of advice can you give to somebody who wants to do exactly what you're talking about? They want to make a living doing music. They want to support their family doing music. They want their life to be supported by music.
Man, biggest advice I would say is that, and I'm going to assume that if this is what you want to do, you obviously know that you're going to do the work. You're going to do the work, and you're going to do the work. But be there and do your actions out of love. Just do them out of love. Things are going to reciprocate the way that they naturally should. But just what you doing work, you spreading information to people, sharing resources, doing this, love is gonna come back. You ain't even gotta do it for the sake of it coming back, you know what I'm saying? But like, it's kind of how it almost ends up working, you know? And especially in a place like St. Louis, you don't even want to attempt to begin to start having like the mindset of having like a negative business, because it's like, bruh, every person is going to end up eventually even growing and leveling up and becoming the person who you probably are going to need, even different things of that nature. But it's like, just maintain your good business ethics and just work. Maintain your good business ethics, work, perfect your craft, perfect and present your craft, and just keep putting your love into it. Keep putting your love into it. And if it's something you love, you're naturally going to protect it, which means that you're going to do all your business work. You're going to do all that. Like, just put the love into it. It makes sense.
So St. Louis, you know, we were talking about, it has like a rich history, a rich hip hop history in recent years. And by recent, I mean like the last 25 years or so, right? With obvious names. And one of those names is a producer by the name of G-Eazy, who you've recently partnered up with, or, you know, you're producing a show with, or you're a part of his show. Let's put it that way. Tell me about that experience, because in St. Louis, you know, he's a legend, right?
Which is facts, man. In St. Louis, he's a legend. In St. Louis, that normally doesn't happen. Again, even talking about the music scenes, like, it's almost like the independent music scene and then like the people who do commercial stuff, we seem to not cross. We like, nah, bro, you do this, I do that. Like, we legitimately won't end up crossing. And it's been fresh to be able to collaborate. You know what I mean? Like, somebody like G-Eazy, this individual knows how to produce hits, 10 times platinum hits. You know what I'm saying? That's like knowledge that I was able to infuse within my independent indie culture, to where like we're not necessarily focused on making hits, you know what I'm saying, per se, but it's like all of that information can be fused and used to just produce good quality music, digestible music. And at the end of the day, we need to make some hits too, bro, because that's how the industry moves. You know what I'm saying? We want to be able to eat, we want to be able to take care of our family, we want to be able to inspire other people. You know what I mean? Gotta take things to a high level. But it's been a blessing to be able to work with him, man.
And you know, it's no accident that, you know, you guys came together. Tell me about that. Like, how'd that come about?
Man, one of the biggest folks who actually helped fuse this together was actually Red Bull. Red Bull was one of the main ones who kind of helped push this collaboration together, and they got us working together. Like, we got a song that we're working on. It's not on his upcoming project, the one that he just dropped, but we're still tweaking some things. But they got us together, and that's how we began to like form that relationship.
And what's an opportunity like that mean? Like the Red Bull, which is like, you know, massive
facts
corporation, right?
Yeah.
The wisdom and the experience that you get from some of the names that you'll be performing with, you know, like Chingy and you know, G-Eazy, Murphy Lee. Yeah. So Tempo. It's like what's all that mean? Like, how's that transforming you right now? And what's the vision?
In the utmost reality, I'm blessed to say that I can tell that moment for me is like a brand like Red Bull grabbed a legend and said, hey, this person can be a legend. This person should be a legend. Give him some legend information. Help him out. You know what I'm saying? Like, just rub shoulders. Be in the room with this individual. You know what I mean? Give him the catalyst for him to be able to take things to that next level. That's major. That's major because, again, we're talking about, you know, St. Louis being a city that is known for being able to birth those legends. You know what I mean? So it takes a community, it takes a village to raise and birth a legend. Other cities, they may have like 25 different other platinum producers, other people who they can be in the rooms with. You know what I mean? But being able to have that information in St. Louis right now is very pivotal because a lot of people have to technically go outsource and go get that information. They're like, well, I don't have any of that information here. I got to leave. Next thing you know, we don't really come back because it's not here. You know what I mean? So it's that's major. Definitely major.
So you're talking about being in the room with legends because you could be a legend. So tell me about when you reach that status. What's the legacy that you want when people think of you, you know, years down the road?
Platform. Build platforms, man. I've seen the journey. I've seen the journey rip people who I love, rip them to the core, bro. Reshape people. I want to be able to build platforms that can allow people to assist and get to the level where they're trying to go to. these dreams, like, I know how it is to have that dream. I'm still moving it, but I also know, like, luckily I had a family who supported me, and so many other people go through this journey with no family, no support. Other people around them do not support them. You know what I mean? It's like, it's rigorous to be able to have some so precious in your mind, like, I can turn this into a diamond, and not have that support, not have that system. I am not going to even allow myself to imagine the feeling of being able to suppress that. And therefore, the fact that I can't even stomach that idea, I know that when I build my platform, I want to be able to help assist. I want to be able to set up platforms. I want to be able to set up some stuff to where 10 years from now, hip-hop artists is writing grants. And I bet 15,000 is here for your project. You have your business plan. You got this, you got that. I can write that off. I can get that over to you. I can set up I don't know, you know what I mean? Just set up some type of infrastructure to allow us to truly facilitate the greatness that is here in St. Louis. Because at the end of the day, there's so many phenomenal people from St. Louis, whether or not they live here now. We forget there are so many phenomenal people from St. Louis. And the people who I'm listing are the people who managed to be able to scrape up resources and do it themselves. So it's a lot of untapped potential. I would like to play a part and help tapping it.
That exists now, like, for lack of a better word, like a hip hop incubator, like in worldwide.
I would like to get hip. I'm actually pretty sure that it does.
Okay.
To be for real.
I mean, I don't know.
Especially worldwide. I'm pretty sure that it does. But
not here in St. Louis.
Not here in St. Louis. And you know, we work on certain things, but at the end of the day, a lot of us still need to be able to build that platform, to perhaps get that platform that much more exposure so that we can truly have that impact. You know, at the end of the day, we can always do as much as we can with what we got, and that's continuously showing love. So we start off with that, you know what I mean? Definitely start off with that.
That's the best way.
Speaking of that, let me get some shout outs out here real quick.
Yeah.
No, some artists for y'all to check out. I need for y'all to definitely check out my guy, Najee Person. He is a rapper and a producer. Mind-blowing with what he does. He has a lot of big things in the works right now. You got folks like Domino Effect, who is like an in-house production and rap code. You got people like Jay DeMar, who is just like ripping and putting his passion pure on these tracks and getting some really big looks from big people. The list goes on, man. It's tons and tons of different folks out here making some moves. I just have to shout out some of my peoples real quick, but yeah.
What are you most excited about? And you know, for the fans out there, for the people that are just getting introduced to you, like, where do they start? What can we look forward to? What's next?
Man, for the people who are just now getting tuned to the Mastermind brand, thank you for being here. But buckle up. I myself is going through a tremendous journey that we call life, and I'm blessed to be able to express it through my music, and definitely just going through some amazing, beautiful transitions and humbling transitions, and also like channeling in just like pure emotion in certain areas that may have only lasted for 15 seconds, but being able to put all that energy in one spot. I want people to be able to fully understand who I am as a whole sonic person. So that story is going to gradually fully be told. So that's what's coming up as far as like the artistry inside of the Mastermind brand, man.
Yeah. So where should people look for you? Where can people connect with you, hear your music? You
can find Mastermind, in fact, anywhere and everywhere. So that's Mastermind with a V. So you flip the A upside down. But Mvstermind. Whoa. MV. My brain is.
That's going to show up on the screen too. So we'll spell it out on the screen.
Mvstermind. I just had a brain lock, y'all. A true brain lock.
All right.
We ain't gonna edit it out. We gonna let them. But anywho, you can find Mastermind any and everywhere. That's Apple Music, Spotify, Pandora. You can just Google search it, and hopefully we out here.
There you go. Thank you. This has been a fun show.
I appreciate y'all.
Thanks for being on.
Appreciate y'all heavily.
For more episodes, visit innovationcity.co. Be sure to subscribe, rate, and review. If you're in St. Louis, visit us on a Thursday night. You can find details at vincafstl.org. You can also connect with us on social at WeAreSlam or at Venture Cafe STL.
This is where it all begins, so say goodbye to all your fears, all your doubts. This is where they die. This is where we come to win, we come to fly. This is where we make our dreams come to life. Welcome to Innovation.